Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I thought it would be time for me to get the cover done for my new journal, the Scrappy Silhouette journal. In the last video, I made this piece where I used a zipper and just played with texture and color. The page in the back is from Tracy Fox Creative Love Junk Journals on Etsy. And the kit that I'm going to use is called Scrappy Silhouette. So that's why the name of the journal is Scrappy Silhouette. So I made this piece. Then on my own, or not recording, I made this one. So all three of these will be signature covers. And then I'll have papers on the inside, and then it'll be 3 signatures. So that's the second one, a little different. And then for the third one, I used fabric. And some paper too. There's some paper. And that's just all fabric. So, now that I have these 3, they sort of can set the tone for me for the entire rest of the journal. They're different, but they're similar and sort of the same, kind of some of the same colors used. And they all have a different silhouettes on them. So, I already had this rusted bird. It's he's a metal. And he's gorgeous. Love him. And so I thought that would be a good thing to use on the front. I also decided, I think in my video, I said I wasn't sure what kind of spine I was going to do. I decided to do just a flat back hidden spine. And then this fabric, here's some scraps here. This is, it's like a gauzy, isn't it awesome? I used some of it on one of the covers here. It's back here. And so I thought I would do, use that same fabric on the cover. Then I also had already this book cover. This was a square book falling apart. This is actually the back. I just took a piece of old, it's just old, it was a bag, like a bank bag or something. And I'm not really sure. Here's the rest of it. Yeah, bank bag. So that's from the back side here. And just laid some of that down behind. And then this is a little piece of paper from one of the pages from Tracy's kit that I just cut out of one of her pages and distressed ripped it up, and I actually wrinkled it up and inked the edges and did all of that. And then I glued those 2 pieces onto the front of this. And then this whole thing will be on the front of the journal. And now what I'm going to do is add the bird and some other things. So before I do that though, what I want to do, this cloth that was originally sort of holding the book together, it had been very well loved. I think it was a devotional. I know it was German, but very well loved. And this is just, I don't want it to fall apart. So what I'm going to do is put a coat of, and then the book itself is also, vulnerable, kind of where it's starting to wear really bad. And then the actual paper here, you get the idea. So I don't want any of that to wear further. I want to seal it. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't think of the words. So what I'm going to do, first off, is just take some matte medium. Okay, hope I don't ruin it. But I'm just going to lightly put a coat of matte medium on this, just to seal it. And I want to, my dog has decided it's time to play. I want to get this matte medium on the edges. And I'm just going to try to get it pretty much on all of this. This is the wrong brush. That brush has no give to it. Here, let's use this one. And then once this dries, it'll of course dry completely clear. Then it'll be sealed. It'll have a little bit of a sheen to it, but I'm okay with that. This piece is dry enough that it's just soaking up this matte medium. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I want to let this dry before I do anything else. Okay, I think this is dry. And now you can kind of see, I'll give you an up close and personal. It's got just a tiny bit of sheen to it, but it basically is now sealed. Let me get that nice grunge up there. So I'm absolutely okay with it. I love it. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I've got the bird here. And he's gonna go, I think, something like that. He's gonna be tricky to glue on because, yeah, definitely gonna be some clamps involved there. So I think, let's see. I think I do want to go ahead. No, before I do the bird, well, do I want to do the bird first? And then I'll tell you what else I've got going here. I've got some buttons. Look at this one. This is like perfect. It was fabric. Let's see if I can get this turned around so you can see it. There you go. See how it's shredded? That's perfect. It goes along with the journal so well. I thought I'd maybe put a button, a couple of these metal buttons on here. Here's another one that's really nice. A couple of them I've got here that I really like. And then what I think I'm gonna do, instead of a knob closure this time, which is my favorite kind of closure, the whole thing is going to be glued on here. But I think what I'm going to do is slip this. This is a picture hanger thingy. And I think I'm gonna slip that up underneath here. Like that, and then put another one on the back side over here. I have another one, here we go, like that, only that one I'll really attach with a screw, and then run Sari Silk through the two ends and have a little bit of a different closure. It won't be a pop open, untie it closure, but I still think, I think I'll like it. So, okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue that with some matte gel medium. Yep, that'll be good. Okay, I'm going to clamp that down and set that aside for a minute. I'm also going to get some of that glue up. Check, perfect. Okay, we're gonna let that sit and dry for just a second and set this aside while we play with this part. Okay, so I want to put some wire on here. So I think I'm just gonna poke a couple holes here. I'm gonna do that with my poker tool. And run some wire through there. I think that'll be fun. Big question is, where do we want it? Let's go here. It's always a risk doing something like this on a piece so old. You know, you never know if you're gonna ruin it, but you gotta try, right? If you wanna, you gotta play. All right, let's just start it. So this is what I'm doing. Wired up. And then I'm going to come over here on the back and I'm going to take the original one and I'm going to twist these two together. And then cut this a little bit off. I actually like that it's kind of messed up there. I think it looks good. Is that messed up that I like that it's messed up? There you go. See it? I mean, it's still wet. So you still have a little bit of white glue there, but it won't be white once it completely dries. So yeah, I just felt the need to do that. Okay. I think it's time to get the birdie on here before I completely ruin this. Where'd he go? Birdie, birdie. And then I will look at buttons. And I think he kind of goes about like that. So I've got my matte gel medium. And I am going to deck this out on the back here completely. I'm not going to do just little bits. Now, I'm putting way more on than I need. But that's just generally the way I do it, and then I'll clean it up. Because I want there to be plenty back here. Takes a little longer to dry doing it that way, but I don't want to just attach him down just in spots. And so I think on some things you're working on, that works great. But I think on something like this, I want his whole body covered. I think he goes over, down, and I want the tail here, and the head, and the body. Okay, I'm going to clamp this down. I'm going to push down first. Where's my, here it is. I'm going to push down, and then I'm going to wipe some of it up, and then I'm going to clamp it down, and then I'll wipe more up. So all of this will get wiped up. And keep in mind, this all dries clear, but it'll also dry, you know, in a glob like this if I leave it. So that's why I wipe it up. I don't want the globs. Now he has to dry. I prefer for a project like this for him to sit and dry completely overnight. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. And then when I come back, I'll play with some button placements, maybe some more little doodads on here. And then the whole panel will get put onto the cover. So let me set that aside and come back over here. And this guy is yep, that's pretty dry. Good enough. I mean, I could probably rip it off, but I'm not going to try. But now what I think I'm going to do is go ahead, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on as well. And then I will run my sorry later when I come back and finish the cover. So what I usually do is get the cover to a spot where I like it, and then go work on the signatures. And then when I come back after the signatures are sewn in, then I come back to the cover and I put on my, that's gonna be cute, I think. I put on my metal corners, things like that. Anything like this where I'm gonna go all the way through the cover, I wanna do this now before I put inside pages in here. So then when I put inside pages in, whatever I've poked all the way through is covered with the inside cover. That makes sense? So that's what I'm gonna do here. So first thing I'm gonna do is put some glue on the back of this. Not a lot. And then I'm going to poke the whole thing through. Oops. Okay, I'm back and we're dry. So this is what it looks like. There's that wire that I decided for some strange reason needed to be there. And you can kind of see that there's a coating on this. So this is nicely protected now. Likewise on the paper. And yeah, okay, so I'm ready to finish this off and then glue it on. So it's going to go on there something like that. This is also nice and sturdy and glued. And then I have the one on the back. Okay, so I pulled out some buttons. I just thought some buttons might be kind of fun on this. And I grabbed a couple, and I think I've narrowed down to what I want to do and where I want to put them. So I'm going to drop the buttons on and then glue this down. And then for now, this will be done. I will come back and finish with metal book corners. Sorry, my dog is, hold on one second. He's an old man. I have 2 border collies, and the oldest is 15, and he doesn't have good use of his back legs any longer, and so he gets stuck places, and I have to go like lift him up. Once he's up, he's fine. So what I'm going to do is put these buttons on here, and I've kind of figured out. Now this one, it's funny, I pulled this one out of the container this way and was thinking that's the way I wanted to do it, but you know, this is really the front. So now I don't know if I want to put it on here like that or kind of upside down. Then I took some of this fabric and just shredded up a piece and looped that through this one. I think we're going to go here with it, kind of like that. And then this is that fabric one that I showed you earlier that's just falling apart. There you go. That I think is perfect for this. So I think that's going to go roughly there. So let's start gluing. I'm going to glue these on with Fabri-Tac. And this fabric one that's falling apart, I may put a coating of matte medium on it too, just to seal that fabric so it doesn't fray completely off. We'll just take a look after I get it glued on and see if I need to. Nice. I like that up there a lot. That's like my favorite. Okay. Okay, I think we're going to call this done. And now I'm going to do the same thing I did when I affixed the bird onto the front. I'm going to put a whole bunch of matte gel medium on the back of this piece and clamp everything down. Let me get some clamps out. And then let it sit for a while it dries. So let's find the matte gel medium. And let's get a palette knife. This one will work. And here we go. And then once this is completely dry, at this stage, I'll step away. So then I won't come back to this until I'm completely done with all sewing in the signatures and all of that fun stuff. And then once I'm at that stage, then I'll come back to this and finish it off. So I'm going to try to get as close as I can to the edges here. Let me stay in camera. I don't want to get too much. There we go. And this back is not even, so I'm kind of filling some of the holes, some of the dips, if you will, with the matte gel medium. And that just means it'll take a little bit longer to dry. But it'll be fine. All right, let me get a little bit more up here. Squish that up. And squish that up. Okay, now I'm going to come over the whole thing like that. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. All right, now let me, somewhere I have a towel for my fingers. Okay. Oh, let's get a little bit of that off. Okay, I want this here, a little higher, about like that. That looks good. I've got glue all over my, or Matte Gel Medium anyway, all over my fingers. I think I can come down just a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to start clamping. I'm going to push down. I'm going to push down and wipe first. And this will just get rid of the big clumps. Let's see. This one. Okay. Good there. There's some down here that's going to squish out. Okay. All right. Now what I want to do is double check to make sure it's straight, or as straight as it's going to be. These old book boards, the boards themselves just aren't straight. So, okay, time to clamp. I'm going to let this sit and then I will be back. And here she is. So we have a little button up at the top. And the grungy cloth. And then we've got a button with a little bit of this same cloth pulled through. Oops, what's that? What is that? It's a little goober on there. There we go. And the book board itself here in the back has been, it has a coating of matte medium on it, as well as the paper and the fabric back here. There's that wire that I had to put on here. And that's done. Little 6x6 journal cover. Not done, obviously. I have some work to do on it, but I won't do any more work to it until I get to the very end, after the signatures are sewn in. So the signatures will be it'll be a hidden spine. And so these are the signature color covers that I had done. So it'll look something like this, and of course it'll be sitting up about like that when it's done. It's an adorable size. I really like this size. And then I will run some sari ribbon through these two hooks here, and that's what will close it. In the back, I'm going to keep plain. I like that fabric. It's got little goobers all over it, but I like that fabric, so I'm going to keep it plain. I love that texture. I don't know yet if I'll do anything to the spine. We'll see. But there she is. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I will be back. Bye-bye.